what's the deal with getting sick right before your race or right after your big race? It's sometimes called the runner's flu, and there are things we can do to prevent it. So let's chat. Longtime running coach and author Amanda Brooks of Run to the Finish here. Let's talk about what is happening that's making you sick. Obviously, we know your immune system is playing a role, but why? What is going on? So there are some really cool studies that show during that peak week, so we have now have months of really pushing our body, your adrenaline is actually pumping enough that it suppresses your immune system. So then you go into taper, the adrenaline goes away, and your immune system comes flooding back in, which is why suddenly you have sniffles and a little bit of ache and a cough, and you're freaking out because your race is gonna happen. So your body is just trying to take care of everything that it let go for a while. Now, if you have been in that high adrenaline phase for a while because you have been overtraining, it's even worse. So we want to do some things to take care of our immune system along the way. The same thing could happen post-race. So David Neiman did a study that showed 1 in 4 ultra runners got ill after a race, and not like the ill to my stomach because I've worked so hard, but an actual like cold, flu, virus symptom because the immune system is so suppressed. Same thing happens to a lot of marathon runners as well. So let's go through some ideas and some tips that kind of let you know along the way during training, hey, I need to step up my thinking. 1, we cannot emphasize sleep enough. It is when your body repairs, it is when it does all of the good work that makes your training valuable. So if you are skimping on sleep, try to make it a priority. We know this is a huge boost to your system. Number 2 is always going to be getting in the best nutrition possible. So of course we are fueling with gels and sugary things, but the rest of the time, are you getting in enough nutrients? So not just calories, but nutrients. Thinking about your veggies and your proteins and your fruits, all the things that are filled with those amazing things that are rebuilding the muscles we are breaking down. 3, I have talked before about the fact that your health often starts in your gut. So getting on a really good probiotic has been shown repeatedly to help with your immune system. I have talked in the past about Previnex because they do some other great products. But the reason that I like this one is quality. I know they research everything to the highest degree, but also because it has 30 billion and has enough strains. So if you're getting like the yogurt and it has 1 strain, or you're buying something from the pharmacy that has 2 strains, that is not enough to do you any good. Sorry, it's just not. The studies don't back that up. 4 is gonna come back to hydration and electrolytes. Stay on top of that, give your body everything it needs to accurately take care of itself and fuel itself. 5 is vitamin D. So a lot of us, even though we are outside running, are low in vitamin D, which makes us more susceptible to infections. Number 6 is a new one that I am crazy excited about because this is about long-term building up your immune system. So this is actually another one from Previnex, and it is their brand new product called Immune Health Plus. I am excited about this, as again I said, 1, because they research things beyond. And so one of the things that they really researched in this is called beta glucans. So you can look this up. There are like 18,000 PubMed studies about it. And in using this consistently, you aren't trying to like, oh, I'm not feeling well, take care of something. Instead, you are building up your immune system consistently over time so that hopefully when you are hitting those peak weeks of training, it is so strong and able to handle things that you aren't going into that like fatigue state. You aren't then in taper where your immune system overreacts. Instead, it is already like working well and doing its job. And then you take it through the race. So even though you are pushing your body to its limits, your system is over the top, ready to truly handle all of it. And especially when we're traveling for races, because how many of us feel like it's the travel where you end up getting sick? So this is that huge boost. Okay, so what are we talking about in terms of what's in it? That vitamin D that I mentioned, vitamin C, which you have heard about forever in terms of helping the immune system, zinc and calcium. Super important to know that the type of things they use are also more bioavailable than in a lot of the other things that have additives and coatings. So things that once they get into your system and try to break down, you get a very small portion of what it actually says you're getting. You are getting this. Okay, then they move on to elderberry, which is something that I have used in the past and talked about in the past. It's a very, very cool, like long-standing thing that's been out there. Next are mushrooms. Do you feel like you started hearing about like mushroom coffee and stuff a few years ago? This for me is like leveling up on that because, again, the quality. So these are all sourced in the US, where we are not worried about soil pollutants, air pollutants, which you have to consider for most of the mushrooms that are coming from China and other places. So you are not getting that here. Instead, you are getting top quality. And there's maitake, shiitake, and reishi. So all of these have long herbal remedy histories. Cool. Awesome. Okay, and then the final piece I mentioned was glucans, but the way they actually do it is it's a 3-part system to hit on all 3 areas of your immune system versus what's in a lot of stuff, which only tackles one area. This is now in my daily must-use toolkit, but especially as I start to think about going into that peak week, race week, post-race week, all of those times where you feel a little bit more run down and you are so much more likely to get sick. Great option. I will post a current discount below for anybody who is looking to try it out. Obviously, I love Previnex. I also take their fish oil, which is also good for immunity because we're just working on that inflammation. So I never share with you guys products that I don't like, or if I do, I tell you flat out I don't like them. I am not someone who will take a lot of supplements. Even protein powders are like an occasional, like couple times a week sort of thing. So these are genuinely things in my routine that I really believe in. Happy to answer more questions. Again, I don't think we need to supplement our way out of everything, but I think there are certain ones that can make a really big difference in our total health, and I am all about